All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever scrolled through your own music library and just stopped to notice the pure chaos? I mean, one minute you're listening to a super sweet love song, the next it's a brutal breakup anthem, and then bam, a track about hitting rock bottom. This digital noise, this emotional whiplash, it's not random at all. It's basically a mixtape of the human experience, and man, does it tell one heck of a story.
And so often that story starts right at the absolute peak, right? That feeling of just pure uncut joy. A line like this from HER, it's not just some words in a song. It's the actual soundtrack to that moment you look at someone and see your whole world. You know? Music just has this incredible way of amplifying that feeling, making it feel totally cinematic. It is the highest of highs.
But just as quickly as it started, that mixtape can flip right over to the B-side. You go from the warmth of "You're the best part" straight to the ice-cold, gut-punch finality of this line from D480. I mean, what a jarring shift, right? But it's so real. This is the sound of the lowest of lows.
And then you get this, that defiant pulse that just beats somewhere between all the love and the hate. It's Kendrick Lamar basically reminding all of us of our own resilience. And this isn't just, blind optimism. No, it's a declaration of survival. So you've got love, you've got loss, and then you've got the fight to get back up. That is the journey we're about to unpack here.
So, what is the story here? What's the thread that connects all these intense, totally contradictory emotions? I mean, how do you make sense of a playlist that feels like it has a severe case of multiple personality disorder? Well, let's try and decode the story that our collective mixtape is really trying to tell us. Every great mixtape needs a strong opening track. And for a lot of us, that's the honeymoon phase. This is that part of the playlist that's just filled with effortless joy. Everything feels perfect, totally cinematic, almost drenched in sunlight. It's the pure sound of connection.
And Rex Orange County just captures this perfectly. It's that exact feeling you wish you could just bottle up and keep forever, right? The honeymoon, it's not a place, it's a state of being. It's when just hearing someone say your name feels like the most beautiful song in the world.
And what's so cool is when you look at the lyrics, you see all the different textures of that early love. Like, you've got the simple daily need, HER's coffee in the morning. Then you have the grand fairy tale promises from Rex Orange County, and the deep, profound comfort of just being best friends. And then there's that surreal, almost dreamlike feeling from Tyler, the Creator. It's not just one thing. It's this huge, all-encompassing emotion.
And this is where you see just how fragile the whole thing can be. I mean, one moment you're making these promises of forever, right? A vow to stay till the end. And in the very next breath, the entire script flips. A line like Usher's becomes your reality. The mixtape just pivots instantly from a love song to a breakup anthem. And that shift, it's absolutely brutal.
So, after that sharp, brutal turn, what happens? Well, this next section of the playlist, it's kind of defined not by the music, but by the jarring silence and the screaming that fills that silence. This is the moment where all that beautiful harmony from the honeymoon phase just completely shatters into noise.
And this lyric from Neo, man, it gets right to the absolute heart of the breakdown. Think about it. Communication, the very thing that built the entire connection, it becomes a weapon. So, you stop talking to avoid the fighting, but then the silence itself becomes its own battleground. It's a total lose-lose, where every word and every moment of silence just digs that hole deeper and deeper.
And after the screaming finally stops, what's left? Just this echoing void. This part of the journey is all about wrestling with that emptiness and having to face this devastating choice. Do you keep fighting for something that you know is broken, or do you somehow find the strength to let go of what you once loved so much?
And Laufey, right here, just gives us the devastating math of a breakup. It's like the pain of staying in a relationship that's failing. Yeah, that's real. It hurts. But the thought of becoming nothing to that person, of just erasing all that shared history, somehow that can feel so much worse. It's a truly impossible choice.
Okay, so now we enter the next part of our mixtape, and fair warning, it's a dark one. After the heartbreak, the playlist almost always descends into this murky, confusing, and really lonely place. This is the soundtrack for trying to navigate the wreckage, and usually you're doing it all by yourself.
And Joji's lyric here just perfectly captures the paradox of this whole phase. There's this constant push and pull,
You want to be alone, but at the same time, you're desperately craving connection. You're warning people to stay away because you feel like you're a mess, but you still yearn for that closeness. It's like this lonely dance with your own sorrow.
And that sorrow, it often brings its own demons. Kid Cudi takes us deep, deep into the internal turmoil that can follow a huge loss. And we're not just talking about sadness here. This is a physical, visceral haunting. It's that anxiety and that dread that literally steal your sleep and make the night feel like it's never, ever gonna end.
And then Kendrick Lamar he strips away any and all glamour from the struggle. On his track, You, he confronts the raw, completely unfiltered reality of deep depression. And he makes it so clear that this kind of pain is profound and that no amount of success, no amount of money can even begin to touch it. This is it. This is the absolute bottom of the playlist.
But even from the absolute lowest point, the mixtape can change. The next track comes on, and it isn't about wallowing anymore. It's about fighting back. It's that moment you decide, nope, my story is not over. This is the resilience anthem, that difficult, defiant climb back towards the light.
And here it is. This is the shift. With this single line from All Right, Kendrick Lamar transforms all that pain into pure power. It's him acknowledging that, yeah, the struggle has been constant, but it's also a declaration that he is a survivor. See, it's not about avoiding the fight. It's about realizing you've actually been winning it all along.
So how do you find that strength? Well, sometimes it's about reclaiming your own identity. In his song I, Kendrick takes a word that has been twisted and used as a slur, and he traces it all the way back to its powerful roots by defining negus, which is an Ethiopian word for royalty, for a king, a ruler. He's not just playing with words here. He's literally arming himself and his listeners with this profound sense of self-worth and historical power.
And ultimately, that's what the Resilience Anthem is all about. It's about hope. It's a message of faith, whether that's faith in a higher power or in your community or just in yourself. It becomes this collective chant that pulls you out of the darkness. It's the belief that, hey, despite all the evidence to the contrary, we are going to be all right.
Okay, so we've been through the bliss, the heartbreak, and the long road to recovery. But the story doesn't just end there, right? The final realization is that life's mixtape, it's always playing. It's kind of always on shuffle.
So what we've really explored here isn't some straight line from a beginning to an end. It's a cycle. You will find yourself back in that honeymoon phase. You will face new heartbreaks, and you will discover new anthems of resilience. The playlist is just a constant loop, a reflection of the beautiful, messy, and totally unending rhythm of life.
And maybe the final stage of this whole journey is just acceptance. Rex Orange County gives us this really bittersweet truth. See, accepting the cycle just means understanding that nothing, not the good times, not the bad times, is permanent. It's about learning to really cherish the highs, knowing deep down that you absolutely have the strength to get through the lows when that track inevitably changes.
So I want to leave you with this question. If you think about your own life, with all of its joys and its pains and all those moments of fighting back, if your life was a mixtape, what song would be playing right now? What's the track that defines this exact moment for you?